Welcome. Thank you so much for subscribing to this YouTube channel. Welcome once again. Here is the headline: The Yoruba Civil War Part 1. Ibadan and Oyo versus Aare, Kurunmi and Egba and Ijebu. So before we dive into this exciting, because I'm really excited to know more about this war, know about past history. I'm very excited to learn this information. I don't know about you. So before we dive into the news, please don't forget to like this video channel, and for those who have not subscribed, please don't forget to click on the red button, subscribe to get more of this exciting and more informative news. Thank you so much as you do so. So this war is about the Ijaye War, and it's lasted for 5 years, from 1860 to 1865. The key players are Aare, Kurunmi, Ibadan, Egba, Ijebu, Remo, Alafin, Ikorodu, Ijaye, and the British Army. So before the war, Ibadan was the emerging new Yoruba powerhouse after the fall of the Oyo Empire. Blessed with the support of the Alafin, Ibadan called for a conference of the Oyo town for the aim of restoring peace and unity amidst the Yoruba race. They were able to reach a consensus that war would not be used to settle disputes in Yoruba land. Further, tribute should be paid to the Alafin, and also a peace treaty was proposed towards a friendship alliance with the Egbas and the Ijebus. The Ibadan, having liberated Ekiti from the Ilowins, had gained full control over the Ekiti and received tribute from them and other communities that seek Ibadan protection. However, Ibadan pays nominal tributes to the Alafin and encourage others to do so. The death of Atiba, the Alafin of Oyo. On the event of Atiba's death in 1859, his son succeeded him as the new Alafin of Oyo, and his emergence was supported by the Ibadan in order to ensure a continuous Ibadan policy in Oyo. The then Aare Onakonkafo did not take this well, as he labels Atiba's son's ascension as a contradiction to the tradition. Having failed in his self-projection for the ultimate position of Alafin, Aare Kurunmi broke off from the Oyo Conference alliance and withheld his allegiance. The aftermath of the disputes. Ibadan wanted to bring Aare Kurunmi back to the fold to avoid another Afonja situation. So Aare Kurunmi was already angry, and he was leaving already. He wanted to go and create his own army because he had the power. His own duty was to go and fight wars. He had the power to do so. So Ibadan tried to bring him back so that another, if everybody knows Afonja, then that he left the Yoruba land and created his own army. They were trying to avoid another Afonja situation. The Egbas wanted to stop the Ibadan from becoming the ultimate power block in the Yoruba nation, so they sided with Aare Kurunmi. So we see that this fight amidst Yorubas is not start today. It has been starting. It has started for some time now, during our forefathers. So we'll just pray that even as the Yorubas are fighting for independence now, they will learn to love themselves and set aside their differences. The Ijebu decided to join the Egba coalition because the Ibadan was supporting the Remo against them in order to get access to the sea routes. So we see just selfishness and greediness among the Yoruba people. If from that time they had joined hands together, loved one another, encouraged one another, they would have even maybe be greater than Nigeria. Don't know. So I think one of the things that the Yorubas are lacking now, the Yoruba nation are lacking now, is that love among themselves. When they hold hands together tightly, no traitor will come in between them. This is time for them to love themselves. So this is the war. The war broke out and the Ibadan was assaulted by their old enemy, the enemy of Ilorin. Now Ibadan had to fight in 2 fronts against 4 enemies. Hi. First, the Aare Onakonkafo Kurunmi and his Ajaye warriors. Alake of Egba and his Egba armies. Aujale of Ijebu and the Ijebu armies, Emir of Ilori and the Ilori armies. Wow, Ibadan would have been so overwhelmed by these people, 4 armies coming against them. Let's see if they won. So what Ibadan and Egba wanted? Ibadan wanted a unified Yoruba community, while the Egbas does not want Ibadan dominance, and saw the Yoruba unity as Ibadan agenda. So this is not the first time that the Yorubas that we're trying to get, come together and form a Yoruba community. This is not the first time. The Ibadans tried it once. I know they were misquoted by the Egbas. The Egbas said that the Yorubas they just want to do an Ibadan agenda that is not for the purpose of all the Yorubas. It's just for them. But thank God now we are already having sense. We are already coming up and knowing that for those Yoruba dictators standing up, Professor Banja Kintoye, Chief Sunday Adeyemo, it is for the benefit of everybody, of even our children unborn. I pray that we will not allow traitors come in our midst and, make us start doing things that we're not supposed to do. So how did Ijaye enter the scene? Ijaye was just a pawn. It was the Egba army that dominated the coalition by supporting the Ijaye and bringing the Ijebu into the coalition. They wanted balance of power among the Yoruba states. So now the strategies, outcomes, and after effects of the war. After the war, they blocked Ibadan and cut off their supply from the sea. Wow. This act angered the British merchants in Lagos and encouraged the Remo merchants in Ikorodu to smuggle arms to Ibadan. The army of Ibadan blocked Ijaye and staffed her till they fell in 1862, thereby making Ibadan the biggest force to reckon with in the Yoruba nation. Egba and Ijebu did not take the defeat well, as they turned on the Remos, which just proclaimed herself as an independent nation from Ijebu. They also decided to punish Ikorodu too, but the British intervened and massacred the Egba army. The Egba nation retaliated in 1872 by expelling the missionary and all those of a Christian community. Community suspected to be pro-British, while the Ijebu nation forbade Europeans from entering their country. So we see, what do you pick on this? This war. What happened some years ago? This is not the first time the Yorubas are trying to come together, but every time they tried, there are some traitors in their midst. Every time they tried, something or the other tried to stop them. It might be outside forces, it might be internal forces. Now, the Yoruba nation the fight they are going through now, fight for self-independence. They have external forces and internal forces. These internal forces, they might even be Yorubas. The internal forces work hand in hand with the external forces to bring down the Yoruba nation. And if Yorubas at this time cannot love themselves, cannot set aside their differences, we don't know what will happen. So let me look at the comments of people towards this. Samson Adigboyega said, "The British are evil. They masquerade my army." Okay. I wish the Egbas could just kill them with their supernatural powers and use them for rituals. So sorry for this. I know, I understand how you feel. Uzo Kester said, "They chew charms on one another, and that is what you call war." And in those days, they don't have guns, and they have local guns, so they have to go to war with their charms now. So everybody on their own. So there are really lots of comments here. What do you take on this? What do you feel about this? About the fact that the Yoruba nation, this is not the first time they're trying this and they failed in the past. Are they going to win now? I hope they win, and I hope that they learn from their past mistakes, from the mistakes of their forefathers, great grandfathers, and make use of those lessons to help themselves. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for listening. God bless.